20, over 20 years ago. And I got all the way to the final. And I actually had a brother that came up to run in nostalgia drag racing that weekend. And I went to go help him. But I ended up entering the car because it was going to work out. So I also wanted to kind of have a little fun that weekend just because, like I told you earlier, once I got my hands on a wheel, I wanted to race it. And so I was out there helping one of my brothers. He ran a front-engine nostalgia dragster back in the day. And anyway, he went out first round. I can't remember why. But we had the Mustang in the little bracket racing, and I got all the way to the final. And that was just an amazing day. And on the final run, it was hot. It was really hot. And I was sitting in the staging lanes waiting to go, race for the final. And I was sitting there trying to calm my nerves. So I turned on the air conditioner, and it was funny because I forgot to turn off the air conditioner. So the car was consistent because it was a factory car, but I ended up losing by a few tenths of a second, and I thought to myself, how in the heck did I lose? Why did it go slower? And then I realized the air conditioner was on. So, but it was an amazing day. That was probably the funnest, going through the rounds and all that kind of stuff and winning every time and getting to the final round. Anyway.
All right. So now, Scott, do you think that you can get better as a race car driver? And if so, how do you achieve that to get better?
Well, the light's a big one. There's in my funny car, I have that where one wheel is further than the front. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of it, but they're staggered. So my wheels are staggered. So I have a little room to play with the light once it's staged, and so some of my reaction times this year were pretty good. I mean, we saw a .0 something, especially towards the end of the season. We saw a lot of .0 something, and I think I can get better on the light. I think that's going to be huge, and just getting to know the car more. A lot of the people that we're going against running, and we also run. We try to run when we run down in Bakersfield. There's a group down there called ANRA, American Nostalgia Racing Association, and they're great people. I mean, just great people. And so we ran 3 of their races this year, or 2020, and they're all just a huge, amazing group in themselves. And but I mean, there's very few of them that are in the position that we are, which is our first year. A lot of them have been running for years and years. So their knowledge is just unbelievable. But to actually try to compete against them is also another driving factor. We want to be competitive. We want to win. And that whole chess game of learning the car, understanding the weather, understanding what it wants to do and where it wants to do it and all that is absolutely, an awesome challenge. And we look forward to it this upcoming season. We definitely look forward to it.
Now, do you do any 8th mile racing, Scott?
No, 8 mile is not really big out here. I mean, it's starting to be. Usually it's due, I think, because of weather. If it gets too cold, they like to run 1/8 sometimes out here in like a bracket style. But for the most part, it's all quarter mile. I wouldn't mind, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But, that second half of the track, is where, it can get really interesting,
right?
To say the least. I mean, there's a lot more room to play. There's a lot more room for mistakes. There's a lot more room for, pick a category when it comes to drag racing. I mean, it's, that second half of the track is where a lot happens. And, our first 8th mile is, was very consistent. It was, almost the same 60 foot every time, 330 feet, all that was very consistent. And then the top end, the second half of the track is where it actually fluctuated. So it's kind of cool to try to master that, that second half of the track and try to get that 1320 under control.
Now, if you get the funny car body and you got spare time and money to travel, maybe you could run one of the funny car chaos events with Chris Graves' event.
I would love to. I mean, I want to, I have family in Arizona. I actually have family in New Jersey, Texas.
There you go, Texas. That's where most of them are at. The chaos events are. Most of them are in Texas. Most of them.
Yeah, exactly. And if we can ever, excuse me, if we can get to that kind of level, to where we could actually travel, and have a very competitive car, is a goal. I mean, we're hungry, and so we're taking our steps and we're taking our licks. I mean, it's like I said, I went from a 13-second car down to a 9-second car, and the competition here is just insane. When you run index, you have to run the number, and a lot of the people that we run against, whether it's 860s or 960s, they're running 9.6 with a 1, or even a 9.609 or something. I mean, they are so deadly accurate that the competition just becomes insane.
Yeah. So have you watched any of the Funny Car Chaos events online?
I have. Oh, I have. I'm a huge Funny Car fan. Huge.
Yeah, all those guys they all seem to be having a blast doing those Funny Car Chaos events.
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's an amazing event. I would, I have not been to one personally, and as much as I love running, I'm still a huge fan. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of drag racing, and in general. And to see something like that in person too is amazing. A lot of the people that we talk to, that really haven't, that aren't into drag racing, and they think it's interesting, or they think it's cool, or whatever. If you can get them to an event, any event, it changes their perspective so much. I mean, you can see like a pro mod on TV and say, oh wow, that car looks awesome, or even see our car, no, it looks awesome, but until you actually see it drag race and see what it can do, it's a totally different perspective.
Yeah, you gotta be able to smell it and all that, and smell the fumes and hear how much louder it is in person than on TV.
Exactly. You're only using one sense when you're watching it on television. When you're in person, all your senses are getting blown away.
Especially with those nitro guys, your eyes get all watered up. And
right? That's actually one thing we're actually considering too, is adding some nitro. So,
right. There you go.
That'll be a whole another experience coming up soon.
Yeah, a whole new ball game. So now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from, Scott?
I have, oh, the suit. My suit is RJS in belt. My helmet is, Simpson. I tried to buy it all at once, so that when they do go out, they do go out together, and I can, get them all redone at the same time. And that was one thing that I had to get used to was getting in that car fully suited. It's when you're running 13 seconds, you basically need pants, a jacket, and a helmet. When you get into one of these, it's a whole different ballgame. We went, my wife and I took a trip up to Summit in Reno, Nevada, which is about 2 hours from us here in Sacramento. And we went up there specifically to get everything for the race suit. And one of the things that we came across was the actual neck protection. And when my wife and I were talking with them, we were looking at a few options. Obviously, you have your Hans devices, and because we're not, going as fast as other cars, obviously, I had a choice. I had a choice between basically a $40 neck roll or a $500 Hans device. So as you can see, there's quite a difference in price because of what each of them do. And, my wife, being as supportive as she is, she actually was insistent about going with the $500 Hans device because of safety. That was a huge sale to her when it came to the safety aspect of everything, including the chassis. The chassis that we got from McKinney has a 6.0 cert, so we can go, AA fuel altered if we wanted to. And she just wanted to make sure that the safety part of everything that I was going to be doing was as top of the line as we can afford. And so we pretty much, tried to go with the top end of everything when it came to that.
Well, sounds like you got a good other half there.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right, so you ready for some fun questions before we close out?
Sure.
Okay, outside of drag racing, do you have time for any other hobbies, Scott?
Not really, not anymore. I do quite a bit of welding. That's actually what I do is I train auto body technicians in welding, and love to build, and go camping. That's what me and my family love to do.
Do you go fishing?
And definitely fishing.
There you
go. Yes, I've fished my whole life. We go deep sea fishing every year. We, fishing has taken a step back because of the drag racing. But yes, that's definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Oh yeah, I always tell everybody fishing's great. People say, "Oh, it's too boring. I can't sit there." I'm like, well, that's the best part of it. Even if you don't catch anything, you're enjoying the peaceful, quiet outdoors, and you're just enjoying yourself, relaxing.
You bet. It's good for the mind.
Yep. Especially after a long week of work and stuff.
Yes.
Get out there camping for the weekend with the family and enjoy yourselves.
Absolutely.
Try to get work away from, put that in the back of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, gotta relax and unwind out there. So now, have you won any trophies in your drag racing career so far?
No, they're still eluding me. But we're definitely taking steps to change all that.
Now, if you could find a time travel machine, and go backwards in the time, Scott, would you do anything differently with the drag racing career?
I'd have started earlier. When it came to this, and that's why I talk so much about fear. Is a lot of people think fear is being scared of, is being scared, and that's not really what I see fear as. What I see fear as is the what ifs, and it can be scary to take steps that are out of your bubble, and I just wish I would have, had that mentality a little earlier to just, start living instead of just trying to, getting into that comfortable mindset of living day to day. Having a goal and accomplishing it is one of the greatest feelings in the world. And I just wish I'd have started a little sooner. Not that I don't have the time or anything. And I heard somebody say the other day that, the good thing about today is you're the youngest you'll ever be ever again. And so, here we are, we're living the dream and having fun with it and enjoying the people we're around. And, I tell you the truth, I couldn't ask for anything more.
So now, if you and your family ever have time to go on a vacation, what's your favorite vacation getaway? Just like camping?
Yep, Fort Bragg. We go to a park called McCarricker State Park up in Fort Bragg, and it's next to obviously the town of Fort Bragg. Noya Harbor is where we go deep sea fishing out of. I've been going for 26 years straight now. And my wife has been there for 42 years straight now. So, that's where we go every year. Talking about my wife being supportive, she basically asks for 1 week a year and, with no drag racing, no nothing. And we go up and we camp and it's tent camping and outdoor stove and everything right on the beach. And we've done it every year for, like I just said, for years. And then all the rest of the vacation days usually tie into drag racing. It's usually taking Fridays and Mondays off so that we can go spend the weekend drag racing.
Now, have you ever done sturgeon fishing?
Not sturgeon. I have done, out of the rivers, I've done striped bass and stuff like that, but, and then lake fishing, big bass fisherman, love fishing for bass. And then when we go deep sea, we either do one of two things, either rock cod or salmon. I still haven't gone tuna fishing. I really want to do that. But yeah.
I know my one buddy out there in California, he's Bobby Cottrell's cousin, Danny Cottrell. He's the sturgeon whisperer.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, he catches monster sturgeons over there.
That's awesome. Pat, my crew guy, he loves sturgeon fishing. He's got a boat himself, and I still need to get him to get me out there. But he'll stay overnight sturgeon fishing.
Yeah, I heard they're good eating too.
That's what I heard too.
Yep. So now, speaking of eating, what's your favorite food to eat?
Say that again?
I said, speaking of food, what is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, I'm a surf and turf guy. I love lobster and I love steak. In fact, that's actually one of my other pastimes. Is I love smoking meat. So I have a big Oklahoma Joe smoker here at home, and I love cooking. Smoking all day long. I love it.
So, what is your favorite food dish that your wife makes?
She actually makes a beef stroganoff that is just insane. She actually uses, if I smoke a tri-tip or cook a tri-tip, she'll put tri-tip in it and makes a beef stroganoff that is just out of this world. I love it.
All right. So, what's your favorite beverage to drink?
Well, I got a few. We are I love my whiskey, and so Proper 12 Irish whiskey is probably my favorite. I love that whiskey to death. But if I just want to casually drink, it's shock tops or whatever. And but yeah, I love my whiskey.
Now, if we go on non-alcoholic, what's your favorite drink?
If the what?
If we go non-alcoholic drink, what's your favorite drink if it's non-alcoholic?
Oh, the Canada Dry has all these different flavors that are really, really good. So I love Canada Dries and probably Dr. Pepper, whatever. I usually, if we go stop at a quick bite to eat, it's usually Dr. Pepper's.
You like Canada Dry ginger ale?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And actually, if you go to Costco, they sell these big containers that have different flavors in them. It's amazing. You got blackberry now and strawberry and all kinds of stuff. They're really good.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, we got Costco's over here. So now, what's your favorite movie of all time, Scott?
Stand By Me.
That was a good. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Stand By Me was kind of a, it was one of those movies that always kind of sticks out in my head as one of my favorites.
Now, when you're grown up as a little kid, did you have a favorite cartoon to watch?
A favorite cartoon?
Yeah, when you're a kid.
Yeah, probably Transformers or He-Man.
He-Man.
That was my. Yeah, I don't know if you remember He-Man.
Oh yeah, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Yep.
Absolutely.
Then
Yep.
Then
and Transformers and G.I. Joe, and that was. I actually. I used to watch when I was a kid. I used to watch, the WWF.
Yeah.
Remember wrestling back then?
Oh yeah.
Hulk Hogan and
the Road Warriors. Yeah.
The Road Warriors, all that kind of stuff. When I was a kid, I used to love them. I had all the figures and everything that I had my parents get me.
Yeah.
And I actually got to have dinner with Hulk Hogan one time, and it was a lot of fun.
Wow, that's pretty neat. Yep. So yeah, I used to watch WWF. Then I started watching WWE, but lately I haven't really watched too much WWE anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, what's your favorite type of music?
I'm a big Metallica fan, man. I'm a metalhead. I love country and metal. That's my two that I'm always listening to, yeah, I'm a big Metallica fan.
So now with Metallica, though, would you like the older Metallica or newer Metallica?
Older.
Like Master of Puppets, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All.
You bet. I actually have all their records still. Yeah, we actually ran to at a car show years ago, or out here we have this place. We have the Sacramento Autorama that happens at Cal Expo, and James Hetfield actually had a car in it, and we met him and got to talk to him, and I got to tell him that I still had all their old records and got to grow up with them, and that was a lot of fun. That was a great day.
So how was Mr. Hetfield? A pretty cool guy?
Yeah, he wasn't there. He was not there for autographs.
Right.
He was not there. He was not there for Metallica. He was there because he was trying to enjoy the show. And that 15-year-old kid I got at the time, he was about 5. And so I had him in my arms, and we just walked right up to him and started to talk to him, and he was amazing. He was one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
So now, since you like metal a lot, you used to listen a lot of like the '80s bands and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So you like the hair bands too, like Cinderella and Motley Crue, all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. So
I
now,
used to have all their.
So have you ever played any instruments?
No, but that is one of the things that I've always dreamed of doing.
No, you're never too old to start playing the instrument.
Right? Yeah. To tell you the truth, I've always wanted to play guitar. I picked one up a couple times, but that was about it. So it was. But yeah, I would love to learn how to play guitar.
No, you have to pursue that passion.
I may. I'll tell you that.
So now, when you say like country, you like newer country or old country?
Oh, I'm older country.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think what they play today is country.
Yeah, new poppy, hip hop country they got now.
Yeah, Yeah, that's just ridiculous. I can't even listen to the new country station here now. It's just ridiculous. I don't even know what the heck they're doing.
So what's your biggest pet peeve at the track?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I usually having such a blast, I don't even think about it. Probably what we have to get used to is when they call the class up, I feel like I'm in such a rush. I guess that's my only pet peeve is that we have plenty of time.
Yeah, they call you up to the staging lanes.
Yeah, and it's so fast. I mean, maybe that helps. I don't know. But, it's either, we'll be sitting there waiting, and then they'll call the class up, and by the time we get up there,
you gotta wait more.
And all that stuff, it just seems like it's such a rush. But, I guess that's the only thing that I'm trying to get used to. I don't really want to call it a pet peeve. It's just more of a, I just feel like we're always kind of lagging behind a little bit, maybe because we're new and, to this class. But it does take a minute to get me buckled in. Pat and my son, they, we have a routine where they, basically climb into the windows of the car and get me all buckled. And once we're good, we're good. But that could be also my own feeling. You know what I mean? I've gone up for an elimination round, and they're just like, you're good. Don't worry about it. The guys that you're running against, he knows you're getting ready. Don't worry. But I always feel like I'm super rushed when it comes time to actually run.
Yeah. Now, how about life in general? You have a biggest pet peeve in life?
Oh. I mean, that's another good question, Dave. Yeah, I can't narrow anything down to one thing. I guess I just don't understand people hating. It's, people, act one way and treat people the next. I guess that's my biggest pet peeve.
All right. Now, how many social media sites can we find you on?
Well, it's basically, like Facebook, how we connected, NorCal Nostalgia Drag Racing on Facebook is huge. We have over 2,000 members on there. It's a great site to see everybody's cars, everybody's runs, everybody's lives and with their with their cars and stuff. But yeah, and then Instagram. We're on Instagram, and I mainly use those platforms, for drag racing. We love to get it out there. We love to show everybody what we're doing, and basically try to get them out to the track. That's another thing too. Once all of this, COVID stops and we can actually get back to live, I want people to come out and see us run and see the group run and see drag racing wherever they live. It's like we said a few minutes ago. It's a totally different experience when you're feeling it, smelling it, and seeing it.
Yep.
And hearing it and touching it. When we were in Fallon last year, we actually ran. It was our very first race, and we were running against super comp dragsters and pro dragsters and all this kind of stuff. And in the evening time, they have these, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dragsters. And in the evening time, we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, all these teams came over and their kids wanted to get pictures with our car. And it was all because we were pretty much the only nostalgia car there. There was one other one. It was another altered. But it was great to see even the modern day drag racer, who had been doing it for years, have spent all the money on it and everything like that, still love to see a nostalgian dragster or altered. And it was really cool.
And if anybody ever comes out and watches you race, they should always come by the pits and say hello, right?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Anytime. In fact, my wife loves, it. She loves it when families and people come by the pits and, ask questions about the cars and basically get to know us. We're an open book out there, and because we want people to enjoy it, we want people to remember, what we did and what we're doing.
Yeah, I've heard stories from some of the drivers before. As a kid will come out years later, this kid will come out as older and say, "I remember this car from when I was 5 years old or whatever."
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were always so nice every time we met you.
Yeah, I have stories like that from when I was running the Falcon. There's a guy. His name is Roger Truly. He runs an altered. I think he's out of Utah, and he comes out here every year for the heritage races and stuff. And a long time ago, we were running the Falcon, and we just went through tech, and on driving the car back, the carburetor started spitting fuel everywhere, and I didn't have anything. I didn't have, I had a limited supply of tools. I had no gaskets. I had nothing, and he was parked next to us, and me and my brother were trying to get it back together and trying to tighten it up, and that was just making things worse. And all of a sudden, this guy that I had never met before came over, had a box full of Holley gaskets, and said, "You take whatever you need, son. What do you need? What tool do you need? What need? And you're going to get called up real soon because you're in hot rod. What do you need?" And he, without a blink of an eye, came over and helped, and we were able to get some gaskets from him, and I'll never forget that. And I see him, once in a while at the races. I got to show him the car that we just built, and yeah, he kind of opened my eyes to that whole nostalgia scene too. And I'm sure it's with any scene in drag racing, but I'll always remember, what he did that day when I was a nervous wreck, and he came over out of the blue, never even met the guy before in my life, and basically got me ready to go out and run a race. It was amazing.
Yeah, drag racing's just all one big happy family.
Absolutely.
Then every time you go out there to events, you meet new people, and the family gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Absolutely.
Well,
oh yeah, there's cars being built. I got a good buddy. This was also his first year. His name is Duke Baker. He runs the Kinkehee front engine Nostalgia 2 dragster. And this was his first year as well. We pitted together quite a bit. Him and his family are just amazing, amazing people. And we got to meet them this year, and make some really good friends. I mean, him and his family are amazing. They helped us and we helped them, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, like you said, people need to come out and watch drag racing in person.
Absolutely.
Well, Scott, I want to thank you so much for taking time to do this interview today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was, man. Thank you for having me. If you're ever out this way and you see us, please come say hi.
I definitely will. And thanks again, and you have a great day, and I wish you the best of luck with the 2021 drag racing season.
All right. Thank you very much, David. Take care.
Okay, bye, Scott.
All right, bye-bye.